Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the Winning Live broadcast. I am so excited having you on this broadcast this morning. Today is the 28th day of May, 2022, and this is the 47th edition of the Winning Live broadcast. Every morning on Sunday mornings between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., I come online to share with you values, principles, and skills as well as strategies that will help you become successful in your different endeavors to achieve greatness and become that who God has made you to be. All right. And it has been an amazing ride, just like I said, this is the 47th edition. So we are just um, three editions behind 50th edition, and then I'm going to be celebrating it in a beautiful way. I think that should be on the 18th day of June. We'll have the 50th edition, so get ready for that. This month we've been dealing on a series, personal development, and I've had the privilege of hosting a lot of people on the show, and it's been an amazing one. All right, so the Winning Live broadcast today is bringing to you another wonderful edition. And then I'm not in the studio alone. Before I introduce my guests and give him the platform, I would want to do a quick recap of what we did last week, which was the 21st day of May 2021. And I had a guest in the studio, my friend and brother of about 10 years now, who I dealt with on the topic building capacity for excellence. It was really an amazing session, and I would want to encourage you to go and watch that session because there are a lot of lessons, a lot of things you would want to learn from that session. All right, so we dealt on building capacity for excellence. And there are just a few things I want to point out because of time, while I'm also advising you to go and watch it. You can find it on this Facebook wall or on my YouTube channel. It's already on my YouTube channel. So you get to YouTube, search Solomon Okeke. You're going to see it there. I posted it a week ago. Okay, so one of the things that was said on that broadcast last week is that building capacity is a necessity for success, for popularity, and for sustaining it. So whether you want to be successful or you want to have fame, whatever it is, you have to build capacity to get to that point and to sustain it. A lot of people want to get into a position in life where people love them, where they are achieving success to a great extent, but they don't know that to get there first you need capacity, and to sustain it you need increased capacity. So capacity building is not just a thing that you do just once, it's something you do continuously. Okay, so Mr. Praise also said something about a tree, that a tree that has a potential to last long must first deepen its roots before it gets up. So you have to, if you know that where you're going is big, is far, is something that will have to bless a lot of lives, then you have to deepen your roots. Because I have taken cognizance of some trees, okay, some trees that when they are cut down, you just have to give them a few months, if a few weeks to months, and then they get up again. Why? Because their root is deepened inside, and their roots cannot be tempered or was not tampered with because it's so inside. So you have to deepen your root if you want to grow, if you want to achieve success, if you want to be a person of excellence. Okay, so it was really an awesome section last week, and I also shared what I titled the tripod of excellence, and I said that excellence stands on three legs, which is knowledge, exposure, and spirituality. Knowledge, exposure, and spirituality. I explained it a bit detailedly in the broadcast, so you can go over and take and watch it, and of course take notes. Meanwhile, at the Winning live broadcast every day, I always want to share with you values and skills and principles that will help you become better. But I always make emphasis on action. I always make emphasis on action because you cannot achieve greatness by just listening to what we are going to say here. Just like I have my brother here, Ebenezer Akachukwu. Everything he's going to say here are going to be beneficial to you. They're going to be empowering. But you cannot achieve excellence by just listening to what he has to say. You must pay attention to what exactly it is that you need to start looking at, and how you have to start implementing it, applying it in your life. As I always say, that action is not necessarily that you must do something big. Action may just be for you to start taking your pen and paper and start writing things down. That may be a part of what you are supposed to do to get to where you're going. All right. So you have to be willing to take action. So everything you're going to learn will not help you by themselves. They will help you by just you taking the requisite action. So that being said, I want to welcome you again to the Winning Live broadcast. And just like I said before, I am not in the studio alone. I am being joined by my phenomenal brother, Ebenezer Akachukwu, who is going to be sharing a lot of value with us. Now, a brief on what he's going to be sharing, because our topic today is busyness versus productivity. A lot of people are so busy with things, activities. They do this, they do that, they do that. When you talk to them, they tell you, I am busy. You want to have a discussion, I am busy. You want to call them, they say, I'm busy. Busy, busy, busy. Every day they are busy, but they are not achieving results. That's to say they are not productive. So they are busy with their phones, they are busy with running around, but nothing is coming out of those things. So if you're that kind of person who is always busy, you have to reevaluate whether you're actually busy with the right things. And that's what we are going to be discussing here. All right. So it's my pleasure to have my brother on board. He's been a friend for so many years, and a senior friend at that. It's also important to note that he was my senior in secondary school, and a child of God to the letter. I don't know how to explain it, but let's just get into the business of the day. I'm going to be handing over to him right away, and then he takes us on the topic business versus productivity in just a few minutes, and then I will be back. It's my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome to this platform Mr. Ebenezer Akachukwu. Wherever you are, please, a round of applause as we welcome him. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Solomon. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, thank you. It's an honor to be at the Winning Life broadcast today, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And
You're
thank
welcome.
you as many as those who are also following us online right now. I thank you very much. Okay, having known our topic already, business versus productivity, I like to start this way. There is this kind of statement that people usually make whenever they want to massage their irresponsibility towards keeping relationships or keeping in touch with certain people. And one of those statements are, I am busy. You pick up your phone, you call someone, and they don't pick the call. They don't return the call either. And maybe one day you bump into them and ask them, how far? I've not been hearing from you. What's up? They'll be like, I'm busy. I have a whole lot of workload in my table. I don't have time. And then some other people came along and said that nobody is busy. That is a matter of priority. So I am starting on this note. If you are one of those who usually say you are busy, that you are busy is a trap. Now, let me tell you this. You see, whenever you tell people you are busy, whenever you try to go into reclusion, that nobody hears from you, and you just give excuses that you have so much doing, the downside to it is that You have made people to expect more from you, because when you tell people you are busy, the level of result they are expecting from you will be quite different from what they are expecting from others. For instance, respectfully speaking, for students who are in school, most times you find out that some persons they don't even know the names of their classmates. They don't even have time for maybe the tiniest fun you can ever have on campus. They always tell you they are busy, they are studying, they are just busy. Do you understand? Call, they will not even pick their calls. And then at the end of the day, that's why sometimes whenever they find themselves in situations whereby they did not perform well academically, their friends begin to mock them. And we will be like, oh, sure, you say you are always busy. You're always busy reading your book. Then why did you fail this course? Why did you not get an A in this course? That means that when other people are getting a B, you are supposed to get A plus, because you have made them, there is an impression you have given to them that you are kind of, you are above them. And whenever you make such kind of statements, you are making whoever that is listening to you feel less of themselves, as if they don't have any other thing doing with their lives. Do you understand? So if you are one of those who usually give excuses such as, I am busy, that is why I could not do this, that is why I could not call you, that is why I could not respond to your calls, please stop that today. Nobody is busy. It's just a matter of priority. What that means is that you don't prioritize those people. You don't prioritize those actions. Now, I would like to define what business is. But if you have been attentive, you should have at least captured some points in what I've said so far, and maybe gotten your own definition of business. I have here that business is a state of accumulating so much responsibilities or workload that completing them becomes tasking or seemingly impossible at a particular time. I go again. Business is a state of accumulating so much responsibilities or workload that completing them becomes tasking or seemingly impossible at a particular time. Emphasis on time, because whatsoever you are doing in this our realm has to do with time. Whatsoever goal you are setting, there has to be a time frame for it. Now, when people are busy, when people say they are busy, what do they actually do? Let me tell you this. Somebody being busy, it means they have been accumulating so much responsibilities for themselves. Can you do this? Yes, I can do this. Now I'm speaking from the negative aspect. Can you do that? I can do this. They are acquiring so much workload for themselves. And now, for people that are well-meaning, they can be trapped in this situation of business unknowingly. How can they? For instance, you might have a goal or a task that you want to accomplish, and you want to do all of them by yourself. It doesn't work that way. Now, the moment you are trying to do everything from yourself, from planning to implementation, everything by yourself, you will wear yourself out. And that is one of the reasons why people who are so busy, they don't produce results that match the kind of efforts they are putting in that thing. Do you understand? There are people who, after getting a particular task they want to achieve, they want to accomplish, they feel like they don't need help. They feel like nobody can do this thing like them. And so what do? They start taking steps one after the other by themselves. So which means if you are going to take 100 steps to accomplish that task, only you will do that in 100. You don't have the whole time to yourself. By the time you are getting to half of the stage, you might have worried yourself. Now that will lead us to productivity. What is productivity? Productivity, on the other hand, is achieving or getting desired results through putting in required effort. I go again. Productivity, on the other hand, is achieving or getting desired results through putting in required effort. Now, there is a reason why I said required effort, not not a little effort, but required effort. For some persons, there are some things they will want to do. They will feel like they require just small effort to achieve that particular result. The truth is that you cannot achieve any result if you don't put in the required effort, the requisite effort needed to get that result. You cannot get it, no matter how hard you try to do it. So for you to get these things right, you need to put in the required effort. Now, productive people, what do they actually do? They don't worry themselves out. They don't worry themselves out. It is very important to take note of this. Too much responsibilities reduces productivity. I say it again. Too much responsibilities reduces your productivity. What do productive people actually do? First, they know that trying to accomplish that goal all by themselves, that they will worry themselves, and they are going to reduce the level of results that they will get. So what do they do basically? Sometimes they even have to gather a team to work on a particular project. I know somebody who wanted to work on a particular stuff some years ago. And you know what he did? He took out time. Like that project took him time, I mean months, before he could get that particular result. But by the time he got the result, he has already worried himself. Productive people, they know how to apportion roles. Because if you actually gather a team for a project, you know your role. When you get to that point, you contribute and you get the work done easily. Now, let me give you an instance. If you have a truck that can carry a maximum of 100 kg of goods for it to be efficient enough. Now, any amount of goods, excuse me, any amount of goods that you put into that truck that is less than 100 kg, you would see the real efficiency of that machine, that truck. But the moment you put something, anything greater than 100 kg, something like 120, 150, you will find out that you will begin to weary that machine, that truck. It is not going to give you the best it can give you. Why? Because you have put something more than it. So for you to maintain a productive life, you need to first of all know that you cannot do everything. Know this and know peace. You cannot do everything if you want to maintain a productive lifestyle. And now quickly, I would like to differentiate between busy people and productive people. So there are some things I will say, and you know the category you are now. One thing is to know that you are not getting something right. Another thing is to make a resolve that you will definitely make things right after this meeting. So busy people versus productive people. Now, the first difference is that busy people have many goals, like I said earlier. Busy people have many goals, productive people have priorities. Now, you know, busy people, what some of them do is this. The truth is that they just want to feel better. They just want to have that sense of feeling that they are actually doing something with their life. I'm being honest with you. You know, sometimes there are some things you'll be doing, you won't even know that you are making progress. So for them to feel that they are making a particular amount of progress, they just feel like, okay, if I do this, I take up this, I take up that, I know I'm doing something. Now, this will lead them into taking so many responsibilities that probably in the long run, they might not be able to finish it. But productive people know how to prioritize what they need, what they want. They know how to prioritize their goals. You know, without priority, you cannot achieve anything spectacular, remarkable. You need to prioritize your goals. Which one comes before the other? Which one do I need to do now? Which one do I need to do later? And that is it. Then the second one, busy people say yes to everything. Like I said earlier, some of them want to feel better. Some of them want to make you think that they are actually doing something. They actually want to make you think that they are making progress. That is why they will take up different responsibilities. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. Whereas productive people, they will first of all think. They will first of all think and know, is this consistent to my goal? If it's not consistent to their goal, they will leave it. You know, there was a time somebody, a friend of mine, called me and he requested for something. And what he requested for, I couldn't give it to him at that moment. And the next thing I had to tell him, immediately he called, he was sounding very desperate over the phone. What I did, I told him, okay, calm down, relax. Let me think about it and call you back. And when I called him back, I politely told him that what he's asking for is not available at that particular time. And that was it. What if I told him immediately that I couldn't give it to him over the phone immediately? He will feel bad. And that is what busy people do. They respond immediately. They tell you yes. Some of them will tell you yes. Well meaning, they will tell you yes because either they don't want to make you feel bad. They will tell you yes, accumulating responsibilities for themselves. Do you understand? So you need to be productive. You also need to be logical in your approach. Productive people are logical people. They are not emotional. Busy people are usually emotional because in a bid not to offend Mr. A or Mr. B, they will pile up responsibilities that will haunt them in the long run. That is it for the second point. The third point is that busy people work harder. Productive people work smarter. Now, the issue and the concept of working hard and working smarter has been debatable over the years. Now, there is something I want you to understand. When we talk about hard work, like working hard, I don't want us to make that word ambiguous. Some people think that hard work is more like you doing something that is very, very difficult, doing things that are difficult, and that smart work is doing something that is less difficult. That's not true. What I see as working hard in this context, what we mean by working hard in this context is trying to do a whole lot of things to get one result. If there is a result you need, what you need to do is find out what you are supposed to do, pay that price, and you will get that result. But busy people will keep on shadow boxing, doing different things, hustling, what you call hustling, doing different things just to get one particular result. Now, but smart people will look at different options that they have and check for that particular stuff that they need to do to get that result, and they will become very consistent in it. That level of consistency is what will give them that result. Now, do you think that consistency is not hard work? Consistency is hard work. You can imagine, my brother Solomon has been doing this broadcast every weekend for the past 47 weeks, consistently doing this. Do you think it's easy? It's not easy. It is hard work. But smart work in the sense that you found a better way of doing it and you paid the price to get that result. Hope I'm not being misunderstood by these different explanations I gave now. In conclusion to that point, working so hard here means doing different things. That is a kind of hustling. You are doing A, you are doing B, you are doing C just to get one result. But a productive person will just check out of those options, what exactly do I need to do to get this result? They will stay there and do it for hours and make sure they get it. And that's it. We move over to the next point, point number 4. Busy people are easily distracted. Yes, and productive people are not easily distracted. Somebody who is busy, he has a lot of things he's doing. His focus is not in one thing. You can easily distract him by one or two things that are not even in alignment to what he's doing. But a productive person who is very, very focused, who is absorbed in his work or his duties, it is quite difficult to distract the person. And then point number five. Point number five might sound contradictory to point number four. And point number five is this: busy people are glued to their work. Productive people know when to take a break. Now, I will explain this before some people will say that I'm using two contrasting points. Now, what do I mean by busy people are glued to their work? Let me give this instance. On campus, when students are given assignments, maybe a lecturer can give assignment and tell students that this assignment is going to last for 2 weeks. You will submit it in 2 weeks' time. Well, the truth is that after 1 week, probably nobody has done that assignment, or maybe just 2 or 5% of the class might have done the assignment after 1 week. 3 days before the submission, people will not be serious. And then maybe a day before that submission, you find out that virtually everybody will be so busy, so glued, trying to get this assignment done. You will even call some, they will tell you they are busy, they just need to get this work done. Now, the problem is this: you are the one who accumulated this work for yourself. You did not do it when you're supposed to do it. But a productive student, a productive person, will not be under pressure because he started on time to do that assignment. He knows when to take a break, and when the amount of break that he can take that will not affect the result and the timing he needs to get that result. So in all you are doing, please try to be a productive person. From this point, from these things that I've said now, you should know the category you are now and the category you would want to be. That being said, we move over to the next thing, which is living a productive life. How can you live a productive lifestyle daily? Not something, because living a productive lifestyle should be something that is progressive. It's not something you do today and then tomorrow you forget about it. No. It is something that should be it should be a lifestyle. It should be something that you have you've coordinated, you've been doing it over time. It's now part of you. Now, how do you make the best time out of your day? First thing I want you to know is this: you are always in control of your time. I want you to know this. You are always in control of your time. Whether you think your parents, your guardian, or your boss at office is not giving you time to do what you're supposed to do, you are always in control of your time. And let me explain this. Sometimes we are caught up in a particular deadline that we hurriedly do some things and we make mistakes. You see that when you do things hurriedly, it's going to reduce your productivity, is going to water down the results that you are going to get. You see the problem of accumulating things, or rather procrastinating them. So I want you to know that you have control of your time. If you are to travel next week now, maybe next weekend, some of you will not even start now to prepare your bags. Some of you will wait till a day to your travel. You start packing your bags. And at that point, you will tend to forget some important things that you will need. But if a gun is being pointed at your head now, and you're asked to pack everything you need, you find out that you will do everything. You do it within the split of seconds. You've packed. Why? Because there is something that is prompting you packing your bag. You see, you need to have a deadline for what you're doing. Whatsoever you are doing, you need to have a deadline. I forgot to add it to the point when I was differentiating busy people versus productive people. Busy people don't have deadline. They do things in time. Productive people do things, they set deadlines, and they make sure they accomplish their targets before that deadline. Okay, so how do you make best time out of your day every day? The first thing you need to do is to use your mornings wisely. Use your mornings wisely. Stop waking up late. There is an Igbo adage that says that "Mgbe onye ji tete bụ ụtụtụ ya." Let me translate it in English. Whenever you wake up is your own morning. I have a problem with that adage. The problem I have with it is this. If you wake up by 12 noon and say that that time is your own morning, I mean, don't you know that a whole lot of people have made profits from when you are sleeping in the morning until 12 noon you wake up? Some persons have made profit. Banks open by 8, businesses open by 7. A lot of activities have been going on. And you are now waking up by 12 and say that is your own money. You're waking up by 9. It doesn't work that way. If you must live a productive lifestyle, you will learn how to use your mornings. I'll quote a scripture. Psalm 63 verse 1a. It says, "Oh God, you are my God. Early will I seek you." In whatever you are doing, when you wake up, acknowledge your day into the hands of your maker. Acknowledge your day into the hands of your maker. Spend time, communicate with him, and communicate with yourself. Meditate. See, any day you wake up early, you have more chances to achieve more than when you wake up late. Because at least you have a time to plan your day. You have a time to do, imagine, very early in the morning, everywhere is quiet. You can do whatever you want to do. So as much as you can, please make use of your mornings very well. I also want to quote Psalm 143 verse 8 and Psalm 5 verse 3. Later you read it for the want of time. Then secondly, how do you make the best time out of your day? Remember, the first thing you need to do is to make better use of your morning. Acknowledge your morning into the hands of God and let him direct you. The second thing you need to do is set your daily highlights and to-do list. This sounds common. A whole lot of people know this. But the problem is that knowledge alone cannot save you. It is action that will save you. Knowledge, some persons already know everything that I want to say now, but they are not practicing it. And it's not going to help you. So the second thing you need to do, that early morning when you woke up, set your highlights for that day. Set your target. What do I mean by highlight? There is a difference between your highlight and your to-do list. So now your target, when you say the target, just say the target that this particular thing is what I want to achieve at the end of the day. In my career, this is what I want to achieve. In my business, this is the target I am setting for myself for that day. And everything you need to do for that day will be geared towards that target that you are setting for yourself. Then what about the to-do list? Now, the essence of having a to-do list is that you need to keep things out of your head. A whole lot of things are popping in your head. You might think of, okay, I'm going to do this. And with time, you forget that you once said you were going to do this. So you need to have a to-do list. Whichever one you do, you cross it. You cross it until you achieve those tasks for the day. Please have a target for every day. Even if it's 1 or 2, by all means, have a target for a whole day. At the end of the day, you can now come back and then think, did I actually achieve this? Now, let me give you a disclaimer. Some days you might not achieve your target. I'm telling you on time now so that you won't say you don't know. Some days you might not be able to achieve your target. But what do you do? When at the end of the day, you check what did I do that deterred me from achieving this goal, from achieving this target. You check those things that you could not do and check the things that you did that you were not supposed to do, that made you not to achieve that target at the end of the day. Then thirdly, learn to say no to activities that are not consistent to your goals. I think this number 3 point is going to answer the question, one of the questions in our flyers that says how to identify distractions and avoid them. Learn to say no to activities that are not consistent to your goals. Now, the truth is this: whenever you have a particular goal that you want to achieve, distractions will come up along the line. How do you identify these distractions? Now, I will tell you what is a distraction. A distraction is one whatsoever that will delay you from achieving your goals. Secondly, a distraction is whatsoever that is not consistent to your goal. In other words, it is not leading you to your goals. I repeat, a distraction is whatever that will deter you, that will delay you from achieving your goals. Secondly, a distraction is whatever that is not consistent to your goals, which means at any point you find yourself doing something that is not consistent to your goals, doing something that is not consistent to where you want to see yourself, just know that you are already distracted. So you need to learn how to say no to some activities. You don't just accept every activity. No, it doesn't work that way. You don't just stay in your room trying to work on something and you get a knock at your door. Please, can you help? Or you get a call from a friend. Please, I want you to accompany me to a particular place. And just because the person is your friend, just because you are being emotional about it, you accept. You say yes to it. Please, learn to say no. Learn to say no. The Bible said that God, the Spirit, Holy Spirit have given us the grace to say no. Learn to say no to certain things that are not consistent to what you are doing or where you are going to. Okay? Now, the next point is to understand the difference between events and task. You know, I've seen Mr. Solomon, and I know that my time is already fast spent. Okay, I'll try to round off. I said the next point is understand the difference between events and tasks. Events are specific in timing, and tasks are not necessarily specific in timing. Understand the difference between the two. And now again, you need to do the most important task. You have a whole lot of, yes, if you overwork yourself with so many things, you will not achieve much, like we established earlier. So you need to choose the things you are doing from one thing to another based on the level of importance, not based on the level of urgency. Based on the level of importance, not urgency. Although sometimes some things can be urgent, but that thing that is urgent, is it important? That's just it. That something is urgent, is it important? All right, okay. If I say that I need urgent 2K, urgent 2K to recharge my phone and make a call, it's urgent now. But maybe the call I want to make is not even important. Do you understand? But there are some things that are very, very important. You might meet somebody on the road. The person will tell you, please, I've not eaten since morning. Can you assist me? I mean, it's urgent and it's important. If you find out the authenticity of the person's story, it is urgent and it's important. You can as well assist the person. Well, there was a point in my life where I met some persons. Somebody was like, I should give him a transport fare to go to a particular place very close so that you can trek. And the truth is that day I wasn't even with enough funds, but something that ran through my mind was like, wait, this place that is very trekkable, why is this guy going around begging to get a transport fare to get to this place? You see, it might be urgent to him, it might be important to him, but generally speaking, it's not worth you just taking that risk, sparing that money immediately. Because this is something, by the time the person spends 5 or 10 minutes trying to beg people to give him that money, he has trekked to that place. So there is a difference between your tasks that are urgent and the ones that are important. There are ones that are important as well as urgent. So you need to differentiate between all of them. Then lastly, very important one, Lastly, you need to build a system around you that you can trust. I repeat, this is very, very important. I don't want to say it's the most important, but very important. You need to build a system around your life that you can actually trust. You see, what do I mean by building systems? You know, respectfully speaking, this happens mostly in the family where you have a lady who is maybe the eldest among the whole siblings. She would want to do this, do that, keep everything in order, and at the end of the day, she has worried herself and might not even give attention to some of the things that she's doing to develop herself. You know, but when you are doing all these things, you have younger siblings that you can tell, okay, you do this, you do that, you do the other one. I myself will do this thing. You have you have that platform to set that system where everybody knows what they are doing, and you know what they are doing. But some of them will still prefer that they want to do all these things themselves. You will cook, you will clean the house, you will wash, only you. At the end of the day, you have worried yourself. No systems, no structures. So you need to build a system that you can trust. What about some people that work from 9 to 5? You come back in the evening, you are so tired, you will cook, you wash your clothes, you will arrange your house, only you doing all these things. And yet you will still come back and continue your work that you did not finish in the office. What happens to you taking your clothes to the dry cleaner? At least you will save time. One thing I found out that successful people do is that they save time. They don't do everything.
Yeah.
They apportion roles to everybody. Everybody knows what they are doing. Whenever you attend a conference or a program, there is a host who is hosting that program. And there is also people who are at the background working tirelessly to make sure that that program is a success. Now, whenever the success of that program is because whoever hosted that program was able to set up a system that handled that program. As the host of that program, he is not the one who is supposed to go and check whether the mic is okay, whether the voice of the speaker is coming out from the loudspeaker, whether you set up a system. When you set up a system, you are not afraid of anything. In fact, there are some things that want to happen to you. The system you have set will answer the question. For instance, if you are in your house and maybe from so and so time you are doing this, it's a standard that you have set for yourself. Whenever anybody comes to your place, maybe at that particular time, come and accompany me, let us do this. I want to go to a particular place. And that person already knows that this is a system that you have already set and you cannot go against it. You don't even necessarily need to tell that person, no, I'm not going with you. But the person is seeing a system already there. So you need to build a system that you can trust. What works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. The only problem I have with so many people setting up systems is that whenever they set up a system that works for them, they try to come up with a doctrine out of it, making a doctrine out of it that you must do A, you must do B to get this. You know, as our faces differ, we have individual differences. What works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. So that is why you as a person, you need to find out what works for you. Set up a system so that you don't worry yourself. You don't do everything by yourself. I'm already rounding off. In conclusion, I'll say this. For you to lead a productive lifestyle, you don't need to do everything by yourself. You don't need to do everything by yourself. You need to apportion roles. If it is a project you want to work on, gather a team. Gather a team of people that are doing what you need to. You know, some persons have that mindset that nobody can do this very well like me. Whenever I see people that say something like that, I'm just like, guy, you are not open-minded. Who told you you are the best? Whoever told you are the best deceived you. You are not the best. You are only but a local champion. Exposure will make you know that you don't know anything. Those days in secondary school, we usually go for competitions. They might select the best in your school. You are the best. But when you go to competitions, you become humbled. You find out that the best in a school will be struggling. I remember a particular state competition we went for one particular time. I did not even see my name in the first 50. but already you are a champion in your school. So
Yeah.
I want you to know that you are not the best, and that best in the states can go at the national level. He won't be the best, and the best at the national level can go for a competition at the global level. You won't be the best. So there is always something to live. Life is progressive. Whenever you have something to achieve, don't insist that you must do everything. You would worry yourself at the end of the day. You need to just find out people who are good in that thing you want to do. Employ them if you can. If you can't, make them a team and you work with them and you achieve that goal. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, they are happy because they gave in their best to you. You are also happy together as a team.
Mm.
So that being said, I would like to stop here for now so that we can be able
Wow.
to take up some questions and
Wow.
be able to answer them. I know I've overshoot my time, but then I'm sorry
Thank you
about that.
so much. Thank you so much. I think I have to start from the local champion aspect. Like the first time I heard about this was our mathematics teacher in National Grammar School that said that said some. I've been hearing about local champion, but I didn't think about on the day he said local champion and they explained it. I said Jesus Christ. So this is what some of us are. You're a
You find that
champion.
you are just struggling among mediocres like you.
Until you step out of your comfort zone and see what other people are doing, you will think you are the best. You think, oh God,
Exactly.
like you want all the accolades. Well, you actually you actually performing the low productivity. Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Ebenezer.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
so glad. It was an awesome time. Like I've been taking note of powerful session. I think we're going to do this
Thank you.
again. I'll bring you back
Thank you.
sometime very soon. Um, I think you okay. You said about you're not the best. Actually, I've always said it. No, you are not the best. You can only be your best. You can only
Exactly.
and you even have to start working towards being your best, not just the
Yeah,
best, not the best. Because
of
if you
course.
really want to be the best, it breeds competition. You're
Competition,
trying
yes.
you're trying to look at what the other person is doing so you can beat him. All right.
Yes.
But if you're focused on you and improving yourself the more and becoming a better version of yourself every day, other people around you will be looking at you and say, oh, he's the best because you're focused on you. They're looking at,
Exactly.
oh, this guy is achieving greatness. And that will ensure that you don't, get into the path of arrogance. You know,
Yes.
yeah, I am the best here. So, who a lot of things, a lot of people, because they feel they are the best, they slide into arrogance. Okay, we
Yeah.
have just a few minutes more to spend here. Um, and you talked about saying no. I think we have to also look at just two things before we'll round up because the time is very short. Um, what are the okay? I think you've actually treated it, so we won't have to look at it. You said you have to respond to people. You have to think through before you respond, so you don't say yes to everything. I
Yes.
personally am an advocate of you saying no unapologetically. For me, I usually say you have to say no with capital letter, and when you say no, you put full stop because it's a statement on its own. You don't even need to
Yes.
explain some things to some people. There are people you just say no to. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. You don't owe
Yes.
them
It's true.
explanation. So there are people you owe explanation. All right, so that
Yes.
you don't mess up relationships. Very important. Then let's talk about social media. You know, a lot of people their productivity is slowed down because of social media. Not that they are doing something so significant. Not that they are making money. Not that some are not even making impact. Some are not even changing anybody's life. They are just on social media, scrolling up and down, watching video, watching TikTok, and every day. And there's something I started doing of recent. I started looking at my um what is it called? How much, like, what's the time duration? How many minutes did I spend on this app today? I usually check it. is in the setting. When you check setting, you check time
Yeah.
spent. Usually check it. Sometimes you can't just believe that you spent such hours on social media in a day. In a day. And some people, it's because when you get on Facebook, for instance, you will be there. You wouldn't know when 30 minutes has passed.
Exactly.
You think you're just starting. Okay, so how do we get to, you know, ensure that even if we're using social media, we use it to increase our productivity and not just being busy?
Okay, thank you for that. I was actually supposed to talk about that. Okay, you know, the, there are two kinds of people that use social media.
Mm,
One, there are people that entertain themselves with social media.
mm,
Almost everybody is in this category. But some people entertain themselves less with social media. And there are people that entertain themselves more with social media. These people are people that would want to drag you on social media for any slight something. In fact,
mm,
sometimes when I read some comments and the first thing I will do, I will just go and check the person's profile and I'll be like, okay, I'm not surprised. Do you
mm,
understand? Because
mm,
from the person's profile, you can already know that this person doesn't have much they are doing. They just
mm,
want to come here and spend a whole lot of time here entertaining themselves.
mm.
Now, there are also people who make money off social media.
Exactly.
Now, regardless of your schedules, if you're
Mm,
making money from social media, you should as well take off time sometimes
mm.
for yourself. Because if you're making money from social media, that means it's a work you are doing. More
Yeah.
like somebody waking up every morning and preparing to go to work, maybe from 9 to 5 or to 6, is a work
Mm,
you are doing. And
mm,
at intervals, you should give yourself rest.
mm,
Do you understand? I'm
yeah.
talking about people who are making money with social media. You should give
Mm,
yourself rest. And because, there's what we call, there are some companies that you open their social media handle, you see available from so and so time,
yeah.
closes by this time. But
Yeah.
some persons will tell you that they work 24 hours. Do you understand? You are
Yeah.
you are going to worry yourself. If
Mm,
social media you actually work there, you need to have a time whereby you spend there. Do you
mm,
understand? You need to
yeah.
have a time where you have for yourself. You don't need to spend the whole day on social media, all in the name of that you are making money from it. Because at a
Mm,
point you begin to abuse that. And
yeah.
now let me talk about people who entertain themselves solely with social media, who don't who don't make money from that place. Of course, you should know that if you are entertaining yourself only on social media, you are whiling away your time because they will keep on producing content that will keep you glued to it.
Mm,
A friend of mine told me that he opened TikTok a couple of weeks ago and he could not believe that for the first time in his life, he spent 3 hours straight on social media watching TikTok videos. I told him that you
the
need to
same way,
you need
the
to
same way
push.
his data is also being consumed.
Exactly. I told him you need to work on that. If not, the next time you will go there, you will spend 5 hours. And he was very sad. He told me he can't believe a whole him. I told him that, sometimes in life, everything is not about who you are. Sometimes some things will shake you, and you know that there are some places you need to stand firm or,
Yeah.
do a lot more of work there. Do you understand? So
Mm,
if you are not making money from social media and you are just entertaining yourself, I'm not against entertainment, but you
mm,
need to have a time when you put off your notifications, focus on the works you are doing offline, give it your best attention, and then you will find yourself excelling. You find yourself being productive because the moment you start doing something and you get a notification, you will be forced to go and check. Especially, some persons customize a particular notification for different apps. You check, oh, this notification is from this app, this one is from this app. You're already getting distracted. You can see the truth is that if you are distracted, you can never put in your best.
yeah.
That's just it.
Okay, so thank you so much. Just like you said, you just don't have to have a schedule. Personally, I usually I'm so sensitive to noise and distraction. So it's one thing I don't like, especially noise. So one
Yes.
thing I've done in the past 1 year is to mute notifications on social media. So I go
Good.
there when I want. So it's only on
Yes.
Messenger that if someone sends message, I get the notification immediately. But you see Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you see LinkedIn, I don't get the notifications. I just go there when I want.
When you,
Okay.
of course.
Yes, because I can be doing something on my phone, something that is so important to me, and the notification comes, and I'll leave that thing. That is already a distraction. I leave that thing and go over to check the notification. From checking the notification, I'm checking another thing, before you know,
Yes.
you're distracted. Okay, so if you're not a person who is always supposed to be on social media, mute all the notifications and go there when you want to go. All right. So it's very
Exactly.
important. At this point, we're going to be rounding off. But before then, I also want to point out something you said about delegation. You must not do everything. That's the truth. You
Yes.
cannot do everything. You know,
It's
I
true.
had something from when I attended the exponential student pastors training, and there's one of the facilitators said, "Hey, some of you are trying to do everything. You think you are El Shaddai. It is it is soon that you will understand that you shall soon die." Okay. Uh, as humans, we are not El Shaddai. You know,
Yes, of
our
course.
own is that we shall die, whether you like it or not.
It's true. It's
It's
true.
very soon. No matter how long you live, you will still soon, you will still die. So you can't afford to be doing everything at the same time, trying to impress people, trying to
Yes.
make sure that everything is all right. And then some people, because of their vision, because it's their vision, they don't want to allow people to do the things that they're supposed to delegate. They say, "It's my vision, my vision. It is me that knows how God told me to do it. It is me, it is me."
Yes.
Hey, you're just wearing yourself, and you won't be productive that way. Okay, we're going
Very
to be
true.
rounding up now, and I want to especially thank you, Mr. Ebenezer, for joining us on the show this
Thank you
morning.
for having me. Thank you
It's
for
it's
having me.
it's really an awesome time, and I appreciate it. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
God bless you so much, sir. Next
Thank
weekend,
you.
we're going to start the June series, and it's on marriage and relationship. I want to implore you all to be here next weekend as we journey through this path, marriage and relationship. And we're starting with understanding the concept of love. See you, everyone. Then I love you and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a
Thank
great
you
day.
very much. Thank you.